Praising Fidel Castro. Yes, the Democratic Socialists of America are openly praising Fidel despite his murderous past. Let's talk about it.
Let's go.
It's like just when you thought these people couldn't get any freaking crazier, they find a way. The DSA put out a statement honoring Fidel Castro's legacy. And we have multiple clips for you of Democratic Socialists of America praising Fidel. There's a clip I'm not going to play you of Hassan Piker praising both Fidel Castro and Che Guevara, both murderous dictators, but they are heroes to the hacky sack playing lefties in college who don't really understand anything about them. And now there's a resurgence among the DSA to get the young people to recognize what a great guy Fidel Castro was, despite the murders and the pillaging and everything else. In fact, there's a story I have. It was put out by the Wall Street Journal a few years ago where they count Castro's victims. And there's a project that goes through this actually it's based out of New Jersey, but they go through and they find about 5,000 Cubans were probably executed because of Fidel Castro. And just on one day, on May 27, 1996, 166 Cubans, civilians and members of the military, were executed and submitted to medical procedures of blood extraction of an average of several pints per person. The blood was sold to communist Vietnam at a rate of $50 a pint, with the dual purpose of obtaining hard currency and contributing to the Viet Cong communist aggression. May 27, 1966. That's just one day in his long, murderous past. So then why then would they praise him? It's because, like I've told you before, with any movement, you have to have your heroes. Lenin, who also murdered people. Marx, who was just a writer, but, he's just, you leave him aside. But then you go into Stalin, also murderous, the gulags, the forced famines, the purges. You go with Mao. You go with the killing fields guy. I mean, on and on it goes. All these commies have blood on their hands. You can't find one who was a peaceful guy who actually lived in a commune and shared bread. But that's the lie they keep telling everybody. Oh, no, it just hasn't been tried right. Yet they need to point to these heroes as revolutionaries to inspire the youth to then follow in their tracks to have that same revolution here in America. Like, it could be done here. It was done there. Here's a DSA national co-chair claiming Cuba's communist dictatorship is actually more democratic than America. Why they keep rolling out this whack job, Megan Romer, I have no idea. She is the worst spokesperson I've ever heard in politics. She rings all the nutty bells, and this is a greatest hits compilation for a general election, no doubt about it.
Do you believe that Cuba is a dictatorship, Megan?
I believe that Cubans have access to their democracy in a way that we do not. For example, I think the Families Code was just sort of an incredible demonstration of popular democracy. And also, no, they don't have multi-party elections, which is a real problem. I also think we don't have access to our Constitution in ways that are really problematic. We're on like 50 years of the ERA not being passed. 50 years. It's been since the 70s. We are having a very hard time making these changes. Democracy is a lot of things. It's a lot of things about the way people interact with their country. And I think both countries are complex. But I know that where I pay taxes, we've got a boot on the necks of the Cuban people. And that's what matters to me.
Their democracy? Cuba, there was no democracy in Cuba. There was one guy who ran Cuba with an iron fist, and then his brother who ran Cuba with an iron fist. There was no democracy. There were no multi-party elections because there weren't real elections. Fidel Castro was in charge from the day that he got there from the revolution, which you saw in Godfather 2, to all the way until he died when his brother Raul took over. There was no democracy. What an absolute lie. It was a dictatorship. But they're trying to rewrite the past because, again, they want to have this idea in their heads to inspire the youth. Like, look at these guys. They were able to rise up and overthrow their capitalist systems, and you can do the same thing. The Cuba Archive Project estimates 78,000 innocents may have died trying to flee the dictatorship. 5,300 are known to have lost their lives fighting communism in the Escambray Mountains. Most of them were peasant farmers and children. At the Bay of Pigs, an estimated 14,000 Cubans were killed in Fidel's revolutionary adventures abroad, most notably his dispatch of 50,000 soldiers to Angola in the 1980s to help the Soviet-backed regime fight off the UNITA insurgency. When you look at this, they found some 5,600 Cubans have died in front of firing squads. So, I mean, other than that, it's totally a democracy. I mean, other than the firing squads for being a political dissident, it's absolutely just a pure and utter democracy we should celebrate. Another 1,200 Cubans were killed in extrajudicial assassinations. Che Guevara, also praised by Hassan Piker, in a clip I'm not going to play because, quite frankly, I'm tired of giving this guy any more airtime, was a gleeful executioner at the infamous La Caba fortress in 1959, where under his orders, at least 151 Cubans were lined up and shot. Children have not been spared. Of the 94 minors whose deaths have been documented by the Cuba Archive, 22 died by firing squad, 32 in extrajudicial assassinations. Yet Hassan Piker calls them both lions of the revolution. These people are friggin' whack, and it's like every day, it's another gift that keeps on giving. I said today that woman who won the primary in Florida, Angie Nixon, she's a gift. She's a gift we should hold and cherish because she's going to guarantee that Florida stays red because she's so freaking wacky and crazy. The other DSA co-chair, Ashik Siddique, went on CNN where the host was very unhappy because his grandfather has a personal experience to Cuba. Take a listen.
I get your criticism of foreign policy. As I said, it's not an uncommon one. But lauding Fidel Castro is a different story. You talk about what things were like before the revolution in Cuba. I'll give you a personal example. My grandfather was a revolutionary in Cuba during that time. He was affected by a previous dictator, Fulgencio Batista, having his friends disappeared in the street for speaking their minds. My grandfather found that revolution hoping to bring democracy to Cuba. And then what happened? Fidel Castro locked my grandfather up, sentenced to 20 years for doing what you're doing now on live TV, for speaking his mind, for expressing himself freely, for trying to organize politically. So I wonder, again, how you think that lands with people who suffered under that dictatorship, who now you are trying to court as voters when your organization comes out and lauds 100 years of Castro. I don't think it would land well with them, Ashik.
We're seeing many people in the United States who are seeing who are struggling under massive inequality in the United States.
What the hell does that have to do with Cuba? What does that have to do with anything he just said? What does that have to do with the tens of thousands of people who were jailed for being political dissidents? But Trump, but Trump, my grandfather was arrested and 20 years in prison for being a political dissident. Trump's building a ballroom. What is that? What does that have to do with anything? Unbelievable. They don't want to actually acknowledge the crimes of Fidel Castro. They don't want to acknowledge the man was a monster. So they just go, income inequality, Medicare for all. That's not the subject. Go back to the topic, to stay on topic. The DSA commemorates 100 years of Fidel and denounces Rubio's genocide against the Cuban people. On August 13, 2026, they put this out. Today is the centenary of Fidel Castro, and the Democratic Socialists of America recognize the historic significance of both this day and the man. Fidel was an organizer, a fighter, and endures as a stalwart symbol of anti-imperialist struggle and self-determination for the global South. I wish I was making this up. I really do. I wish I put into AI and said, write me a nutty thing praising Fidel Castro, because this is a lot like what it would sound like. DSA has a long history of solidarity with the Cuban people, their revolution, and their self-determination. We choose this historic day to recommit ourselves to acting in solidarity with the Cuban people. The Cuban people tried to leave Cuba. On multiple occasions, they fled Cuba. All you got to do is look to Miami in Florida to see the enclaves of Cubans who fled Cuba when they had the chance. And the ones who couldn't leave, who weren't lucky enough to leave, they were killed, they were jailed, or they were lived under an oppressive government where they were not able to have the kind of economic prowess that we have here in the United States of America. I mean, Cuba can barely keep the lights on. Cuba can barely feed their own people. And now they're trying to blame us and by blocking critical resources from the Caribbean nation. Look, I'm not a fan of the blockade. I don't particularly think that Doing sanctions against Cuba benefits the Cuban people. I've said that for years. I've been very consistent in that for years. You're really punishing the people. You're not punishing the people at the top, because the people at the top will always find a way. They'll never go hungry. The Castros and their ilk, they'll always find a way, but it's the people who get punished. But the whole idea is that, well, until that regime falls, we have to make sure that they starve. But it's actually the people who starve. But that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to what Castro has done. It is irrelevant to the crimes of this man and the genocide and the jailing of people and the firing squads and killing kids and everything else. The Democratic Socialists of America demands that our country respects the sovereignty and inalienable right of self-determination of sovereign nations. Now do Israel. Oh, no, not them though, right? No, not so much. All right, just checking. They should put that a little asterisk, and then you guys scroll to the bottom and go, except Israel, of course. We don't consider them to be legitimate. Not the same. But it's not the same. Yeah, not the same. Yeah, like a little.
Can I give there's a little pro tip to the DSA? If you are looking to win some hearts and minds, don't start putting guys that look like a deer in a headlight every time they're on camera. Like this DSA co-chair literally looks like it was like the test that he didn't study for, and he just walked into class like today. You want me to talk about Fidel Castro? Oh, I'm ready.
Trump's reflecting pool. What? No, that's not the answer. The answer.
He's wide-eyed, just like
bug-eyed, just sitting there on camera.
That dude looks terrified. Like, and by the way, not just this clip. We play he's on camera quite a bit, and every time he did a whole that C-SPAN thing where he took questions for an hour, and the whole time he's just like, "I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die." Yes, socialism good. Like, that's your spokesman.
Give that man a beta blocker and help him relax when he's on camera. Okay,
exactly.
Look at him.
Chill out, bud.
And he definitely gets his eyebrows waxed. Look at how manscaped this guy looks. Man, if you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/@RichZeoli show, you can join the fun. We stream the show at 3 p.m. and would love to have you with us. We have a lot of fun. Then there's Democrat State Representative Chris Rabb, who actually is now going to be a congressman. It might be a congressman, actually. He won a special election. He will win in November. He identifies as Democrat Socialist of America. He was asked about how he feels about the DSA in just the last few days when they put out the statement I just shared with you, commemorating the great works of Fidel Castro.
I know you're a Democratic candidate for Congress. You are, however, a member of the DSA, and there are opponents of that movement who point to the failed socialist governments in Latin America as proof that socialism doesn't always work. And the DSA just in the last few days put out a statement commemorating the 100th birthday of Fidel Castro, which says in part he was an organizer, a fighter, and endures as a stalwart symbol of anti-imperialist struggle and self-determination for the global South. Do you agree with that sentiment? And does it concern you that this type of celebration of Fidel Castro is what might validate people's concerns with the DSA?
I am not concerned with how people construe this organization. I'm interested in finding what we have in common so that we can move this country forward based on bold policies, which that poll suggests people are wanting, irrespective of political ideology or generation. The other thing I want to mention, too, is, and this is something that I hear centrist and establishment players talk about, is, well, if we want to reach these people who are outside of, blue districts, how about we actually focus on those folks who live in highly populated blue districts who don't show up because they're so exhausted and disaffected with the Democratic Party? If we reach those folks who are inclined to vote for the Democrats, but don't because we're not fighting for them, we have a far more likely chance of winning than reaching out to folks who under no circumstances would consider folks who embrace values like healthcare is a human right, or housing is a human right, or not having a trillionaire class. There's some people we're not going to move, but many people we can, and I think it's not about left or right. It's about moving whole communities forward in the most meaningful ways. And as it relates to these statements about other folks in other countries, I hope we're all anti-imperialist. I hope we're all anti-fascist. I don't think these are particularly controversial stances.
What Jedi mind trick did you just play on all of us? First, you went on for 2 minutes not answering the question. Then you go and about these people in other places. Dude, your party sent out a thing praising Fidel Castro. People in other places, okay? And then he goes on to say, well, I mean, people in other places, and we should, but then also I praise the guy at the same time. So the last thing I'm going to say is that, yeah, no, Castro, good. People in other places, good. But, first I want to go on that whole, his point is we got to win people over. Okay, pro tip. Here's how you don't win people over. By praising genocidal dictators, okay? That's not a winning message. That's not how you win hearts and minds at the Cracker Barrel or at the diner. It's like going through, how's your breakfast? Good? Yeah. Big fan of Fidel Castro. Hey, he shot kids your age. Kids, how are those pancakes? Good? Yeah. Would you like to get lined up? We're doing a mock firing squad to celebrate Fidel. Would you like to come out and be in the firing squad? Huh? Your mom looks like a dissident. Huh? Honey, you want to do a little thing? You go outside, they're going to hang you. And then they'll shoot dad just to commemorate Castro. Come on, kids, it's fun. We'll give you a little sticker. Come on. It's freaking nuts, man. I can't believe we're living in this time. I really can't. I just say all this stuff out loud. Like, it's one thing to feel this and think this. It's another thing to say this. I'm just amazed. This is the big story of the hour, brought to you by Dr. Mike Veneria, Veneria Dental. Go see him today for your perfect smile. 2 locations to serve you in Cinnaminson and Woodbury, veneriadental.com. Hey, kids, we're going to do a reenactment when Fidel opened up all the lunatic asylums and put everybody on boats and sent them to America. Yay! Which raft do you want to be in, huh? And many of those people were just political dissidents who we called crazy. But you want to jump on, do a little raft, huh? Might drown you just because you say the wrong thing, but that's okay. Got to know how Fidel rolled.
That guy was like, I think we can all agree we're anti-fascist, right? Like, if you were looking for examples of fascism, like Fidel is maybe 3rd on my list. Like, I don't like, we clearly don't all agree that we're anti-fascist. Like, you absolutely did not read the memo, bud.
I know. They don't think these people are fascists. They ran everything from the top down. They had supreme control over people. There was no local input from neighborhoods. It was literally his way or the highway. And if you didn't like it, you're dead. Same with Stalin. Same with Mao. Same with Che Guevara. Same with Pol Pot. I mean, it can go on. Idi Amin. Like, you can go on and on with these people. They're like, but those aren't fascists, okay?
No, they're not, because they agreed with us. The fascists are the ones that disagree with us.
Right.
Those are the,
Those are the fascists. Like Mussolini. Although we have a lot in common with him too, actually, when you break it down. I mean, the free trains and the running on time and everything like that. But, I didn't end well for him. So we don't want to count him. We're going to try to somehow make him relating to the right. I don't know why he's a socialist too, but okay, why not? Go with it. Seize corporations, control them. Sure. Yeah, no, that's very, very on the right political spectrum. Oh, man. And I don't want to bring up the H guy because, that guy was a national socialist, but the guy in Germany, a little guy with the mustache.
The socialist doesn't translate. It could mean anything.
Right.
Democrat.
Right. I mean,
he was super into democracy. No, was he? No, he wasn't.
No, he actually abolished the legislative branch and just had supreme rule over the entire country from the top down, which is literally the textbook definition of fascism.
Right.
And the Nazi party, the Z is actually an S and it stands for socialist. But they're like, how could it stand for socialist if it's a Z? I can't. I can't. It's too much.
Okay. Also, we can all agree the Democratic Socialists are having a moment, right?
Yeah.
Like, winning elections, like, there's more energy behind socialist candidates than I ever recall in my voting career. Why are you guys putting out a Fidel statement on his birth? Just let that pitch go by. You don't have to swing at every pitch, okay? Why don't you send that memo out when you have 13 new House members? Why are you having this national conversation right now about Fidel? What an unforced error. Like, just keep saying the crazy stuff that people like instead of the crazy stuff they don't like. Like, isn't that how you win elections?
Yeah, like maybe it's a little bit of, I don't know, arrogance to think like we're cooking now, baby. While we're at it, let's praise Fidel and Che Guevara while we're at it. There's no stopping us now. When's Pol Pot Day? That's what I want to know. Pol Pot Day sounds like a lot of fun.
I didn't
Maybe
get
some
you.
pot stickers on Pol Pot Day, huh? You know, a little theme.
I always forget my Pol Pot gifts for friends.
I know.
It's already August.
I know. And I have my Idi Amin trading cards if you want some of those. Yeah, they're fun. Of course, we have the Chairman Mao wardrobe collection now, which, of course, Hassan Piker's rocking, and it's on back order. And here is Simone Sanders trying to help Angie Nixon, who's now the Democrat nominee in Florida. This woman is so dumb. This is amazing. So she has this moment where MS Now is literally throwing her a gigantic lifeline. Like, listen, all right, here's your chance. We're going to give you a chance to distance yourself from the Democratic Socialists of America. Before I play that clip for you, I want to tell you about our great friends at the Grand Hotel of Cape May, New Jersey, and to invite you to join us October 23rd for our next live show, which is going to be from 3 to 6 p.m., my second triumphant return to Afternoon Drive at the Grand Hotel of Cape May. Just come. The show is free. You don't need a ticket. You don't need a reservation. Just come to the show, 3 to 6 p.m. There'll be a lot of great people there, and we'll raise a glass to Fidel. Kidding, we're not going to do that, but we will raise a glass many times throughout the show. And if you want to make it a September to remember, a fall spectacular, the Grand has the perfect packages for you right now. From now until October 3rd, you stay 2 nights, you're going to save 10% plus. From September 13th through October 3rd, save 10% plus. You're going to get $55 a night in resort credits. You stay 3 or more nights, you get 10% off plus $65 in resort credits. And you can use those resort credits at Hemingway's restaurant, the outdoor pool bar, beach concession stand. And if you're looking for a place to have an event, well, the Grand Hotel is the perfect place to have a wedding, baby shower, family reunion, corporate event. My friend Caitlin will help you plan the event of your dreams. But there's a lot of days off from school coming up. You might want to do a romantic weekend, or you may want to take the kids on a little getaway. We do that all the time with our kids. They love the indoor heated saltwater pool at the Grand Hotel. So when they have the teachers convention or they have the holiday this or holiday that, take the kids to the Grand. Take advantage of those discounts and the resort credits, but you have to book direct with them for the best rates. Go to grandhotelcapemay.com, grandhotelcapemay.com. Always book direct with them. So now MS Now, Simone Sanders, has on Angie Nixon, the Democrat nominee for the United States Senate seat in red Florida, tries to give her a way out from the connection to the Democratic Socialists of America. And this woman is so freaking dumb. Not only does she not take the lifeline, she literally takes it and beats it over Simone Sanders' head.
So did you join DSA? Is this about the organizing capacity and less about the issues? Because even today, like Republicans across the country, but especially the Republican Senate Campaign Committee, they are coming out hitting you as a socialist. It's not aligned with Florida values. But the answer you're giving today makes me feel like it's not about the socialists. It's about the organizing capacity. Is that accurate?
It's actually, it's actually about the issues that they care about the most, right? And DSA they didn't help me on my campaign. They didn't endorse me and anything like that. But I am in somewhat of alignment with some of their platform issues.
No, we rehearsed this. No, you're supposed to say, you're absolutely right. It was just about the organizing. I don't agree with anything these nutbags agree with. I didn't even know I was there. It was the locusts. What are you doing? She's throwing you a lifeline and you're taking it and going, Simone, here, can you hold it? Over her head. What is happening here? I mean, I love it. It's great. It really is, because Florida remains red, and that's a great thing, and that makes me very, very happy. But, man. And, the reality is, outside of their little DSA party, Fidel Castro praising bubble, Americans don't want this. This isn't popular. Harry Enton of CNN broke this down. I broke this down for you a couple weeks ago when I shared an article that really got into the fact that outside of the Democrat Party, socialism is not popular. And I wonder why, when they're doing things like praising genocidal dictators. I mean, a guy who shot kids, it's like maybe not the most popular thing at parties, like, hey, want a mojito? A big fan of Castro. How about you? Yeah, love the way he killed his dissidents, didn't you? So cool. Is that a mint one, or are you doing rum? Like, gosh. All right, well, here's Harry Enton.
Who is more popular, Democrats or Democratic Socialists?
Well, among Democrats themselves, the Democratic Socialists of America have a higher net favor rating than the Democratic Party does, at least those who are members of Congress. I mean, just take a look here. Dem Socialists of America, plus 17 points. Democrats in Congress, plus 4 points. No wonder that Dem Socialists are getting nominated across the political map in different primaries because, simply put, they are more popular than the Democrats currently in charge.
Okay, I'm just thinking back to when I was sitting here and Zoran Mamdani was sitting there when he was running, and I asked him about capitalism.
Yes.
And he had no problem saying that he had real issues with it. Okay, he wasn't afraid to say it. By the way, he ended up winning. It didn't hurt him. How do Democrats today view socialism compared to capitalism?
There's a reason why it didn't hurt him, and that is simply because this is one of the biggest political changes I've seen during my lifetime. Match up socialism, capitalism among Democrats. You go back 16 years, 2010, capitalism and socialism right there, favorable rating, 51%, 50%. Look at it now. Socialism clearly in the lead among Democrats. 66% of them view socialism favorably. Just 42% view capitalism favorably. No wonder Mamdani had no problem blasting it.
But not outside of Democrats. That's the issue here. That's really the takeaway from that. Oh, by the way, kind of some breaking news. Former Congressman Eric Swalwell, the disgraced California politician accused of rape and, of course, fanging it up, was confronted by FBI agents today at San Francisco International Airport, where they seized his electronics as part of a federal criminal probe. They served Swalwell with a search warrant after he arrived in California. Actually, I'm sorry, on Saturday, but the story just broke. They seized his cell phone and other electronics. Agents also executed additional warrants at Swalwell's Washington, D.C. home Sunday. That, as you remember, is where Fang went bang bang on the door and was invited in. So that happened. They are searching him. The investigation continues. He apparently was cooperative during the airport encounter. This comes from 4 women's public accusations, facing multiple allegations of sexual misconduct, including claims from a former staffer who alleged that he raped her twice when she was too intoxicated to consent. And of course, as we broke down for you on the podcast a couple days ago, go back and listen to it if you didn't have a chance to listen. Swalwell also now had sex with Fang, a Chinese spy, took money from Fang, a Chinese spy, and loaded his office with interns from the Chinese spy Fang on the Bang Bang. So that's the latest on that. It makes me happy knowing that this is going to continue. They're just getting warmed up, as we say. I'm going to put up a graphic for you. This is Bill Malhusian. I'll put this up. There are moments, I think, around the world where sometimes we get into tipping points of crazy. And if it makes you feel better, it's not just the United States right now going through one of these moments. The United Kingdom. The government there has issued a 9-page behavioral guide for asylum seekers that includes teaching them that women must consent to sex in all situations. Women are allowed to work, study, and make their own decisions and don't need permission from men. And failing to adhere can result in their asylum claims being rejected. They have to tell these people not to rape women, the asylum seekers. Here's my question. If you have to tell somebody that rape is bad, maybe they don't deserve, what's the word for it? Asylum in your country. Maybe they don't deserve asylum because you have to tell them that rape is bad, meaning that they think rape's okay. If you have to tell them that women are equal, maybe they shouldn't qualify for asylum. I'm going to go on a limb here. Go on a limb. We understand you are in the United Kingdom because you're seeking asylum. We understand that coming to a new country can be difficult and that the laws and customs here may be different from your home country. But in the UK, you can't rape anybody and you have to treat women like they're equal. Women can work and earn their own money, study and go to school or university. I kid you not, this is what they list. In the UK, men and women have equal rights. This is an important part of culture and is protected by law. You need to know this. If you're seeking asylum, women are equal. They can travel on their own. They can make their own decisions about their lives. Women do not need permission from a husband, father, brother, or any man to do any of these things. Men and women are treated equally by the law. They're literally having to tell this to asylum seekers of the United Kingdom. They have a whole thing on sexual consent. I'm going to read this to you. It sounds like parody, but it's not. You might want to come to the UK. While the law here is clear and strict, both people must agree to sex or sexual contact of any kind. This means both people must say yes freely without threat or pressure. Someone can change their mind at any time, even if they said yes before. If someone is asleep, drunk or unable to respond, they cannot consent. Consent is needed in every situation. This means even if you are married or in a relationship with someone, they must consent to sex at every time. If you have sex with someone without their consent, this is called rape. Asylum seeker, it's called rape. And rape is a serious crime. You could go to prison, lose your support and accommodation, and it will affect your asylum claim. It'll affect your asylum claim. I mean, we're not going to kick you out or anything like, we're not going to do anything like that. That'd be crazy. But, you know, we know you're not going to assimilate. We're not asking you to. We're not asking you like have fish and chips and get an accent or anything like that. But when it comes to the whole rape thing, like you got to kind of leave that at the door. Oh, like women shouldn't be walking around free and driving. You're going to have to kind of ixnay on the way in, you know what I mean? And respect in public. You must treat others with respect, even if you disagree with their beliefs or how they live. It's going to be a problem for some of these asylum seekers. Thank you to Bill Malugin for sharing that in the You Can't Make It Up category. Absolutely amazing. Oh, in the You Can't Make It Up category, when you think about politicians having dumb answers to questions. So California Governor Gavin Newsom's hair was asked the question about whether or not he'd make a good president. Now, typically when you're asked this question, and this is kind of thing, I used to do this with candidates a lot. We would practice things, rehearse things. Typically the answer to something like this would be a humbling manner of, if I ever decided to run, I would hope people would look at my record of how I help people, blah, 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 and decide that would translate well on the national stage or something like that. What you don't do is you don't answer the question like this.
Would you be a good president? We'll see. I don't know. But what do you think you would? That's a difficult question to answer. I mean, it's so I have no idea. I would like to think I would be, but that's for others to determine. By the way, I think I was a pretty good mayor. I think I was pretty good, but people have different opinions, and so I'm not naive about it.
Would you vote for yourself? I don't know. I'm not sure. I got to think about it. I got to see myself's positions. I got to see what I'm saying at the time. I got to look at all of I don't know. I got to see. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not totally sure.
Well, it's also point out, be like, well, I mean, anybody could be better than this guy. Am I right? I mean, like there's a million ways you can do it. Like, well, you think he'd be a good president? Well, the bar is so low now because of Donald Trump's corruption. I want to talk to you about the tax. I mean, there's a million,
ways to answer that.
I think I'd do a great job, but I'm sure my wife would have some notes. I just we're just rapping here and all of what we're talking about. Better answers. Also,
can you imagine going to a job interview and they'd be like, would you be good for this position? I don't know. I don't have it yet. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
Call me in a year after you hire me.
Yeah.
But also,
gotta hire me to find out if I'll be any good. I don't know what to tell you. What can I say?
The question's coming. Why do you want to be president? Would you be a good president? What do you think they're going to ask you about? It's coming, bud. Have an answer. Get in there.
I don't know. I mean, who knows? I can't tell you. I don't know. I don't even know if I'd like myself. I don't even know if I'd vote for myself. I'd maybe try to impeach myself. I can't even. I don't know. Maybe I'd self-impeach. Hard to say. Who knows? Gavin Newsom. Not sure if he supports Gavin Newsom for president of the United States.
I'm Gavin Newsom, and I don't know if I approve this message.
Oh, man. Gavin Newsom was also asked about providing health care to illegal immigrants. He's been, kind of overshadowed lately by all the socialists who are winning primary elections, but he's paying attention, and he wants them to know he's for universal health care, even for illegals.
You're right to assess what we've done on expansion. And we've done about as much or more than any other state in the nation. We're about 5.9% uninsured rate. Put that just for perspective in contrast to a state like Texas, gets a lot of attention, a large state. They're close to 16.7%. They're in 16 to 17%. California's below 6%. That's a choice. They've made that choice. We've made a different choice. Now that we've expanded healthcare in a controversial way, I'm not naive, and I'll take the grief. I said I'm committed to universal healthcare, and I meant it. The voters supported me on multiple occasions, and we delivered it regardless of pre-existing conditions, ability to pay, and immigration status.
So why is that controversial then if they supported it? Oh, you want agreement because most people outside of your state don't support that, right? Like people that aren't just Democrats, you mean? Right. See, what Gavin Newsom is doing here, just let's not mince words. He's trying to play to the DSA. Like, you guys are talking about Medicare for all. I'm all in. I've done it in California. Universal health care for everybody, including illegal aliens. I've done it. So pick me. It's really desperate, actually. He's not hiding from it because he's actually worried right now he won't make it past the Democrat primary. 5 minutes ago, we were having a conversation about can Gavin Newsom win the Democrat nomination? Can Gavin Newsom win the presidency? I think it was almost kind of a given that he was in the top 3 to win the Democrat nomination, and they had a very good chance of being the Democrat nominee in 2028. And I said his record in the general election would come back to hurt him in a big way. But I'm not so sure anymore he's a front runner. I mean, the political winds in his party have shifted so far left that even as left as he is, I don't know. I mean, he may have to start dressing up like Che Guevara. Like, he may have to wear the beret, maybe wear like a Castro vest, smoking a cigar. I don't know, but he's got to do something to capture the love and attention of the DSA. They don't trust the guy. I mean, everybody's talking about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for 2028, not him. He could end up being her running mate, which would be an ironic turn of events, would it not? So this is why Gavin Newsom's hair, his greasy hair, is saying all these things with that slick back pompadour, with that the carbon footprint on that hair with all that oil in it. I can't only imagine. That guy showers at the bottom of that shower with just oil, like an oil slick. Like, remember when the Valdez crashed and those ducks had all the...
Do you think his wife has to clean it like with Dawn, like getting all the ducks clean like that? First of all,
instead of having a duck with oil on the bottle, it's Gavin Newsom's shower floor.
Absolutely. I will never comment on someone's hair. It is a standing policy that it is only jealousy that would ever make me do that. Sorry. I bet he's texting.
It's not his hair we're commenting on. It's the amount of oil in the hair. Right. It's the product.
I bet he's like texting with Hassan Piker. He's like, hey, quick question. Where do you get a Chairman Mao outfit? Starts showing
Jen
up.
says I need to do more cosplay.
If he wants to court the DSA and he just starts kind of showing up in a Chairman Mao coat, the way Hassan Piker acts like it's totally normal. Maybe that's Gavin's trick.
Yeah, Gavin's cosplay.
Okay.
And for the record, that product that he uses is actually sweet crude. He doesn't even have it refined. It's just pure right out of the barrel.
It's looked different since Hormuz has been closed. He must be having trouble getting it, right? Like the raw crude.
He's had to go in the black market, yes.
That poor guy.
It's been very tough for him.
Oh, yeah.
Because, California imports most of their oil. So the first guy at the dock every morning, is the governor.
But they don't recognize him because his hair is a mess. They're like, that guy reminds me of
somebody.
Hair's
all floppy. Yep. He's standing at the docks like, is that oil? Bring that tanker over here. Oh, so dumb. As we continue along the show here, let me tell you about my friends at Emmons Roofing and Siding. If you would look at that, just pure, it doesn't move. There's no way it moves.
No.
It'd be a jet engine over his head. It's just sitting there perfectly. Oh, all right. Well, listen, Emmons Roofing and Siding, my great friends, they're going to take great care of you and your home. You got to start thinking about the fact that winter's on its way. I hate to say it, but a couple months is going to be here. Is your home ready? Is your roof ready? Windows ready? Doors, siding? Emmons handles it all with American-made products, including the Owens Corning shingle. Made in America, actually in Kearney, New Jersey, considered the best, and Emmons is platinum certified by Owens Corning. What does that mean? That means you get a lifetime warranty on the shingle and also on the workmanship as well. Lifetime warranty. That's amazing. And Emmons will never tell you need a new roof if you don't. They do roof repairs as well, but they're honest as the day is long. And if you do need a new roof, you will get that platinum certified Owens Corning roof. The doors and windows are made in America. The CertainTeed siding is made right outside of Philly. It's great products and they serve the entire region. And if you're thinking about doing some remodeling, kitchen remodeling, bathroom remodeling, I've used Emmons for all the above, and they did great work. In fact, they just did our kids' bathroom. We have the dual vanity sinks. We've got the shower and the bathtub. They helped us pick out the tile, the fixtures. We did a rainfall shower head, really improving the home's value and giving us a bathroom that will last and last and last through the years. So I'm really happy with the great work. Reach out to them today by going to emmonsroofing.com. They also serve businesses. So if you're a business, you need commercial work done, Emmons has a great track record of that, doing big housing developments and big company roof replacements as well. emmonsroofing.com. Make sure you tell them I sent you. A couple other nuttiness for you. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, a statist, no doubt about it, person who would go after private entities for anything. She's filing Freedom of Information Act requests to find out which property owners in her city responded to ICE's request to lease parking spots. Now imagine this now, you're a business in Boston. The city has said, we don't want you cooperating with ICE. City can't force you not to cooperate with ICE. You're a business, you're a free business. You don't exist under the ownership of the state, despite what people like Michelle Wu think. ICE says, hey, we want to lease some parking spots. You're like, I got a big parking lot. I'll make some extra money. Sure, you can lease some of my spots. Now the mayor is using the force of the city to come after you. You've done nothing wrong. You've done nothing wrong. You've leased parking spaces. That's all you've done. Just like subletting an office to somebody or a government agency. Perfectly legal, happens every day in this country. There's no law against it. In Boston, she's created this edict that says you can't do this. She doesn't have the ability to do this under the law. And now she's going to dox these people and come after them. This is what tyranny looks like, kids.
Let's talk about ICE. They have been trying to lease nearly 250 parking spaces in the city of Boston. You've gone on record strongly opposing any expansion of their offices. It's really unclear if they're expanding right now. Have you heard any more about their efforts to expand, if they exist?
We haven't had direct communication from them, but this is not a surprise because even when we've asked for specific information, it's been difficult or impossible to get it. As I understand, this was part of an open process to start laying the groundwork for potential procurement or what's called an RFP to actually get parking spots. So it seems like this is an early precursor step. We, as a city, will be filing another FOIA request for any responses that have come in from the Boston area so that we know what information they may be sifting through. We strongly oppose any expansion of their efforts here and would encourage and will be reaching out to property owners to try to make sure that they're not adding to a surge of unlawful and dangerous activity.
So she'll go after the businesses that cooperate with ICE. This is the dangerous mayor, Michelle Wu. She's definitely out there. She's a DSAer, no doubt about that. A couple other things for you. Election spam is about to get even worse in your inbox thanks to a new Google move. If you have Gmail, of which I do and Jarrett does, the move could help political groups keep fundraising pleas out of the email graveyard and boost donations ahead of the midterm elections. So Google quietly changed Gmail this week to make it easier for political campaigns and PACs to bypass spam folders and pump endless fundraising emails into the inboxes of millions of users. I've been thinking about dumping Gmail for a long time. I know they scan all your emails. There's no privacy with it. I just did it because it was easier. And, I've been thinking about this may be the thing that finally breaks the straw and does it. Starting September 8th, 2026, the Gmail Verified Sender program helps eligible verified political committees in the United States reliably deliver policy-compliant and non-abusive messages to personal Gmail accounts on an ongoing basis. By adhering to these requirements, participating senders actively contribute to a safer, more trustworthy email ecosystem, enhancing security and delivery experience for all recipients. It seems to me, Jared, that what they're allowing here is they're allowing political parties to spam us, and then we have to then opt out if we want to versus opting in to getting their spam.
Was there a problem that we weren't getting enough spam that we're solving for here? Was there, you know what I want? I will actually give more money to whatever, call it the GOP Plus. If you promise me for my $20 a month that I won't get any texts from any candidates, that I won't get any of the other stuff, I won't get the email, I'll give you more money for the premium account, for the Disney Plus account of political donations if you will stop bothering me.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's a great plan. I'll give you this money. I never hear from you ever again.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
If I hear from you, no more money. That.
I honestly give I don't give any more because I don't want the amount of lists and people.
I know.
Because here's the other thing. You might be in my party. I don't mean I like you. And you might, there's a pretty good chance I don't like you. So the amount of these names, and it's infuriating because once you give one thing to one person that you like, that's it. Right? I should change my phone number and my credit card number, and I would have an easier time getting off those lists. It's crazy that you can't make this stuff stop. And why is Google making it easier?
My dad was talking about this the other day. So my dad gave money to President Trump, and now he's regretting it because every day he gets messages from the president saying like, Tony, you've broken my heart. I haven't heard from you. And he gets offers for watches and shoes and everything, like several times a day. Phone calls, text messages, emails. He goes, I gave the guy like $10. And now I'm like his best friend. He's inviting me to Mar-a-Lago. My chance, I go, well, it's your chance to win a trip to Mar-a-Lago, but you got to donate the money and then you might get picked to go. You know what I mean?
My buddy gets them from, I think it's GOP, and it's literally like they're threatening. It's like, we've not heard from you. It's like, it sounds like a demand letter, like he owes like tax money. But it's funny. Like they're like hyper aggressive with how they talk to him. And he actually doesn't unsubscribe.
You have not paid your GOP membership dues.
Your GOP Plus is about to expire.
I didn't even know I signed up for that.
Card carrying member.
Yeah. It's nuts, man. It's why you got to be real careful with this stuff, or you really do, or they will, because you give, to your point, you give money to one and then you're on a list, and then every candidate running for office can buy that list and have access to you. So you could even get an email from somebody running for, like dog catcher in Wisconsin as a Republican who's like, I'm fighting for conservative values of dog catcher work. Like, no more waste, fraud, and abuse at the pound. Like, what is happening right now?
He's sent them to me. I'm going to read you one. Your Patriot ID is being liquidated in the next 2 minutes if you continue to stay silent. Are you with us or not?
So now you're a traitor.
Yes, literally. It's your fault we're going under. Your Patriot
ID is being liquidated.
Yes.
We're revoking your citizenship next.
I mean, I guess it works. They wouldn't keep doing it, right? If somebody didn't respond to it. Yeah.
That's
okay,
amazing.
Last one. You're letting us down by ignoring this. We're asking you one last time. Verify your profile at link. Spam.
Verify your profile, or else you're dead to us forever.
What are we doing? Crazy.
And as we head into the election, a lot of this stuff is driven by, you'll get emails that talk about polls. We talked about the fake poll earlier this week. The Washington Post has a story. Polls are getting worse. They're still the best gauge we have. I don't know if they are the best gauge we have, to be honest with you. I'm at the point now where I don't really believe there's a poll we can accurately trust. I've been relying on the betting markets, but there's another story, and thanks to Sue Alberici for sending this my way, our buddy Sue. Election officials are preparing for prediction markets to sow chaos in the midterms. From threats to the safety of poll workers to voters who can't distinguish between odds and results, prediction markets are already scrambling the political process. When you talk about Kalshi and Polymarket and all these other entities out there that are trying to sow discord and get people to basically send more money and spend more money. And you used to look at that as a reliable indicator, like, well, Kalshi gives this candidate a 95% chance of winning. But a lot of that is all fugazi, driven by hedge funds who are putting more money in to try to get more money. And it becomes kind of a vicious cycle. And they talk about how there's not really a way to deal with this, because Polymarket said our traders recognize there's an opportunity to turn a profit off the artificial boost of campaigns. There are recent examples of how this type of market will quickly correct when a trader appears to attempt to skew the results. When asked about this, Kalshi sent Wired a case study published at an event during the Los Angeles mayoral election. In that incident, someone on Kalshi placed an enormous bet on Spencer Pratt that was notably out of step with how he was polling. It skewed the odds for 9 seconds. But that manipulation remains possible. Thousands and thousands of dollars can be waged every minute on things, and they can change us. $3.2 billion. That's how much has been wagered on the outcome of the presidential election in 2024 alone. One French user of Polymarket won $80 million after predicting that Donald Trump would win. And there's been massive growth on both of these betting markets in the recent months. And with midterms coming up, they are now dedicating midterm hubs on their platforms. So if you go to their sites, they have dedicated hubs. And what this means is that actors can come in and they can put money to try to change the results to get people to buy, because it's about when you buy at the time, not necessarily the outcome. It is, obviously, but it also depends on when you buy and then the outcome. So they're trying to skew people a certain way and then have the outcome go a different way. And it's also crazy. Delaware County, Delco. Actually, that's interesting here. They've declared that those involved in running elections in the state sign a declaration that they are not going to use prediction markets to bet on the outcome of the election. In July, Arizona Secretary of State banned his staff from using non-public information to place bets on elections on prediction markets. That's the other part about this too, is that you've got election officials who are also betting when they see people turn out at election sites. They'll be sitting there as an election official and then jump on their phone and start placing bets on these platforms, which then also could potentially skew the outcome of the race, because if people see that somebody's running away with it and they were going to vote for the other candidate, they might stay home. But then again, if they were going to vote for the candidate who's running away with it, they might say, well, they don't need my vote, and stay home. I mean, there's lots of ways to manipulate elections, lots of ways to manipulate people. And look, I'm for freedom. I mean, I say do whatever you want. Have at it. Do your thing. But there's no question that you've got to be mindful of that going into the elections. If people turn around and go, well, Cauchy gives them a 95% chance, be careful, because that may have been a reliable indicator in the past. Not so much anymore. Now it's a manipulation process in many, many ways. And they're preparing for it to get even worse.
Can I ask you, Rich?
Yeah.
Why do we even need polling? Like, what? I understand why a campaign wants polling.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we need public polling? So first of all, we suck at it now. All it is something for, hey, listen, guys like you and me, I understand why we want it, but it's just something for us to talk about that's never going to happen, or could not happen, and maybe it does or maybe it doesn't. But I don't, does it actually, what is the purpose? Why do we need this? I'm sure it hasn't been around for more than 100 years. Like, why don't we just get rid of it and just, I don't know, talk about issues? Is that?
I think it drives conversation. It drives topics. They go, look at these polls, because they're never right. And then drives behavior too. So they put them out there on purpose. Like, think of that fake mayoral campaign mayoral poll in Los Angeles. They're trying to drive an outcome. That's why they release these polls. And they're fugazis. They're trying to change voters' behavior to either not vote, stay home, or come out. And that's, I think, a big part of this. I really do. If there were many people probably on election day in 2016 who thought Donald Trump had no chance of winning the presidency, right? They probably thought that. Probably went into that election that day thinking that. So the question always becomes, how many people then will stay home as a consequence of polling? Either they'll say the candidate's going to run away with it, they don't need my vote, I could just stay at work later. Or they'll say, this guy doesn't have a shot, so I'm not even going to bother voting for him. And it becomes what's known as a self-fulfilling prophecy. I think that's the answer, Jared, of why they do it. So
ban it.
I don't know. What I know is that we're going to have a drink when this is all over, don't you think?
I mean, I didn't love this story that you're teasing.
You didn't love this story about cocktails?
I didn't love that pina colada was in the mix on third most popular cocktail. I've never been with anybody outside of a resort that ordered a pina colada. Like, how is that the third most popular cocktail in the world?
I was watching a show the other day. I can't even remember which one it was. And the guy goes to the bar and orders a pina colada on a date.
What?
And the woman goes, "You're ordering a pina colada?" He goes, "Don't make fun of my drink choices." He's like, I like a fruity drink.
Don't drink shame me. I'll have a pina colada while I am floating in a pool on the beaches of Mexico. Happy to.
Right.
Day in, day out. I got you, bud. But like, I've never seen a bartender make a pina colada outside of a tiki bar. I've never been with somebody that ordered a pina colada. It is this, according to this article, is the third. Also, mojito. Like, I love a mojito. I never order a mojito. So the article, I'm ruining everything for you. Sorry. It says margarita overtook mojito. Like, yes, I get a mojito down there on 2nd Street at Cuba Libre. That's the only place I get a mojito. I don't even think bars have mint. How could it be the second most popular cocktail? I love a mojito. I'm not judging the drink. I'm just saying
I understand.
I never see people making them. There was this weird moment in the late 90s where it was like really popular to get the thing. I'm like, how on earth are those the two most? You know what should be the number one? Rum and Coke. You know what should be two?
Yeah.
Jack and Coke. I see people order that all the time.
Vodka Club.
Yes.
Vodka tonic.
Vodka soda. 100%. I have no idea how mojito and pina colada. Is the rest of the world having a great night every night and you and I are just stuck here like schlubs?
I guess. And then when we go out, we order an old fashioned like we're supposed to do.
Not on the list.
I just can't imagine going to a steakhouse in Center City and sitting down and being like, "I'd like to start the evening tonight with a pina colada. Can I get an extra umbrella and an extra cherry?" It pairs well with a ribeye.
What rum do you recommend for my pina colada?
Yeah, right. The pineapple mix, is it organic? Because I really need an organic pineapple mix.
How fresh is I assume it's cream in there? I don't know why it's white. How fresh is the cream in the pina colada mix?
Is it creme fraiche? That's what I want to know, huh? Is it that?
Weird. What a weird
You make
story.
a good cocktail. I mean, I remember the time you made the smoked old fashions. You brought out your little thing and you did the thing. That was very good. Very good.
It was a big deal for me. Yeah. I do like a rosemary simple syrup, you know. It's not a pina colada.
But that's a cocktail. Those other things are boat drinks. And I feel like we should call them boat drinks. Yeah.
Honestly, boat drink. Mojito?
Boat drink.
No judgment. Boat drink.
Yeah. And there should be a cocktail menu at a restaurant, and then there should be a boat drink menu. Just like there should be a wine list, and there should be a sweet wine list, a fruity wine list. It should not be on the same menu. They're not the same things.
The Dr. Maz wine list, and then the everybody else wine list with the regular wine.
Dr. Maz loves the, what is it? The Italian white Moscato. Right. Yeah. 5% alcohol by volume. Technically, it's water by law. I think it's considered a sport drink.
It's simple syrup with an alcohol content, barely.
It's a couple grapes and then I think rubbing alcohol. No, that's too much. That's too strong.
It's
Never mind. That won't work.
No, not in there. Yeah.
Not in there.
But also, pina colada is what you get. You get a kid a virgin pina colada when they're like 12 or 13, and you're on the boat, and they're like, that's what that drink is. That drink is.
They feel like they're hanging with mom and dad. So my first drink, my parents took me on a cruise, and I got a virgin pina colada and sat there with my parents, and I felt really grown up having that with them. But I didn't go to college, get there on my first day, go to RJ Bentley's at Maryland, and go, "You guys have any pina coladas back there? I got to relive this nostalgia."
I need 2 hams, beers, and I don't know what's next. Pina colada. No, that's not. It's ridiculous.
Just didn't happen.
No.
Didn't happen.
No.
Before we get out of here, I want to show you a quick clip of Chinese robots and just say hello to our overlords. This is China's back-flipping robot, blockbuster stock market debut, and the latest sign of AI boom. These robots, they are able to run faster than Usain Bolt. They are able to leap over people. They are basically, if you can see on the screen there, are super overlords, 6.5 feet high, top speed of more than 28 miles per hour, faster than the 100-meter world record holder Usain Bolt. And that's what China's rolling out there right now. These are ass-kicking robots. You can see they're doing some MMA, mixed martial arts, fighting each other, and one day they will be fighting us. So I guess I'll end the show by saying, drink up, even if it's just a pina colada, because time's running out. Have a great rest of your day today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe. Please like. Tell your friends. Write a review. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for being here.
Let's go.